All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
You are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you, and you guys know what you're doing, and
All right, welcome into the Inside the Game podcast on location this time. My name is Ryan Glinsky. I think it's episode 328. We've got James Schofield. He's up in the press box. He's up there somewhere. He'll come in at some point to say his piece. He watched a really cool movie. He really wants to tell people about that one. We are live on location here at Atwood Stadium and Flint, Michigan, where the USL2 finals will take place here tomorrow night. And is the Flint City Bucks, home of the Flint City Bucks. They'll be taking on the reigning national champions in Vermont Green. Should be an absolutely fun one here tomorrow night. Myself, alongside Jonathan Turner, will be on the call for that one. But make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you have not already. And James, I guess, is going to say something.
Dude, I just got to say, this has been an amazing week. I just wanted to get on camera because I don't have one set up there. But, I mean, we're here at Atwood Stadium. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see the Flint City Bucks. They're my team this year, I got to say. I don't want to be biased, but they're pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So it should be great to see them play. I've been seeing them for a little bit. I got to see Spider-Man last night. It's going to be a great week.
More than Japan? You like Flint City more than Japan?
Ooh, I don't know.
Don't know?
Japan's still number one for me, but Flint City's
Number one American team.
Yeah, number one American team.
Fair enough.
All right, I got to get back up to the press box.
Okay, well, there it is. James Schofield, our producer James, here in the building. But yeah, no, we've had a very busy week. Obviously, no show throughout the entire week up until now. We've got a lot of news to even talk about. We've got obviously question of the day will happen at some point. Maybe it will. James gonna have to yell for all that stuff. But yeah, no, we are live here at Atwood Stadium. We'll talk about the game. We'll go in depth on the game. But obviously, we have to talk about what's going on in the world with Infantino and obviously FIFA and everyone being, boycotting the World Cup, whether it's UEFA, whether it's CONCACAF is upset about it. I generally have no idea what is going on with Infantino, as he has been very, I would say, creative in what he's trying to do for the game of soccer. Not a big fan of it, and I know majority of everyone is not a fan of it either. Obviously, what he is doing is his new FIFA forward plan is what it is called. He wants like a 20% take. I'm trying to get it to load in here. There we go. FIFA President Infantino plan involves around selling a 20% minority stake in a newly formed FIFA Forward Enterprise, that is the new plan. That's the name of it, to private investors for $4.2 billion, valuing the commercial entity at $20 billion. And that's what everyone is super upset about, because this has never happened in the game of soccer ever before. And that's something that isn't very big, and that's not something you really want. Vermont Green right now is warming up on the field right now. They warm up first for training, and then Flint City Bucks, they will play or they will train a little bit later on tonight as well. But Vermont Green currently on right now. But as you look at it, what's going on with inside FIFA and inside Infantino, it is not a very good look for him. As we've got Dave. He says, "Hi, stranger, and good evening." Well, hello to you too, Dave. We did not have the show because all of our equipment was here this week. So we don't have any. We actually, right now, I think we've got 1, 2, 3. There's 4. I think we got like 6 cameras up there right now. I think we got six cameras. Okay, it is 6 cameras. We got 6 cameras all around here. That's where all of our equipment has been. Even the camera we use for the podcast is up in the press box currently. So all of our equipment this week has been moved to Flint City for this amazing game here in the USL2 finals that you can catch on Sports Engine Play at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. It'll be happening right here at Atwood Stadium. They are doing all the fun stuff around here. Looks like they're loading in some extra seats. They're expecting a packed crowd here tonight or tomorrow night, and then they've got the warming warming up training sessions as well. We got even Fabian as well. He says hit the like button. Yes, we need to smash the like button as well. If you need a Fabian Vera number 39 jersey, we'll take it. We'll take it. But yeah, no, just think about the game as well though. It's gonna be hopefully the rain can stay away. We don't want any rain. But if you think about what Infantino is doing, just to finish out all those points that we were talking about with Infantino, we just do not want him to ruin the game of soccer. It's almost like what the Super League was doing back in around, I think that was 2020, 2021. I think it was spring of 2021. That's when it really kind of went into full circle there with Florentino Perez and Real Madrid bringing in I think it was like Real Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona, the Big Six in the Premier League, and then I think Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, which back then, I don't know why some of the teams were even in it. Arsenal was god-awful at that point, and we obviously saw what all the fans did in protest to what the Super League was back in the day, but that all started because of Florentino Perez and what he wanted to institute in the game of soccer. Fans protested against it, and that was at a point where fans were not even allowed in stadiums yet due to the COVID-19 pandemic and not having any fans into stadiums. That if there were fans into stadiums back then, that would have been horrible with everything that was going on. You saw outside of stadiums what fans were doing in protest. They were upset about this, and you can already see fans not players of sorts and coaches, but it's more of fans and federations that are very upset with what Infantino is trying to implement here in the game of soccer, in world soccer. You've already saw UEFA, they had an emergency meeting with I think all 55 or 41 nations, I forget all the amount of nations in UEFA. They were upset about it. They are boycotting the 2030 World Cup. Fortunately, the next World Cup does not happen for another 4 years, so it's not like it's happening next summer, which we could really be in a pickle where we won't have to wait until 4 years from now to have that one. And then obviously CONCACAF came out yesterday. They were upset with everything. They did not say that they were going to boycott the World Cup. They just rejected the plan. They had all 41 nations in CONCACAF as they were reporting yesterday. They were upset about everything, and obviously I'm sure all the other federations will get into it at some point. No official words from CONMEBOL or AFCON, AFCON's got to deal with the Morocco and Senegal situation back in the day. That was a horrible situation as well. But those federations have not reported anything, but the backlash on Infantino is exactly what everyone expected. It's exactly what everyone wanted, everyone needed to do, because this is not something that should deserve to be in the game of soccer. It should not happen. And if you think about it, if you do not, again, CONCACAF has said they're upset about it. They have not said that they rejected it or they're going to boycott the World Cup. UEFA has straight up said that they want to boycott. And a World Cup without the UEFA nations, that is not truly a World Cup in my opinion, because what you are looking at is in the top 10, I believe six out of the top 10 nations are from Europe, and then in the top 15 nations in the world, if you were to look at the world rankings right now, 11 out of the top 15 are from Europe. And then you look at the final four in the World Cup semifinals, three of the final four teams were from Europe, and I think that is something that is worth mentioning, because the best talent in the world resides in Europe. It does not reside in North America, South America, Africa, or Asia. It resides in Europe. And a World Cup without them would just be a glorified Copa America. It'd just be North America, South America, then maybe you throw Morocco into the mix. Japan might get thrown back into the mix. It'd just be a glorified Copa America. And you need to have those European sides in those European countries, because think about the top players in the world as well. You have an Erling Haaland. He would not play in this one. Harry Kane won it. Kylian Mbappe, there you go, Fabian. There's some Kylian Mbappe love for you. He's one of the top players in the world. But the best players in the world outside of Messi and Diego Luna reside in Europe. John's nodding off camera about Diego Luna, which, by the way, I know we haven't done a show here in a while, but the USA reject chant from the Portland Timbers fans to Diego Luna was phenomenal over the weekend. You have something to add? John Turner, everyone. John Turner.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much. Just getting ready for this fun weekend.
Yeah, just excitement around. All the players already warming up. There's just a buzz in the area so far, just being inside Atwood Stadium. I'm pumped up. I think it's going to be a very fun matchup. But what are you looking forward to the most for tomorrow night?
Obviously, the excitement of the moment, right? I was just sitting there talking with my family, because this will be our our 6th national championship that we've done either in the USL or all the other leagues that we've covered. And so for us, it's really fun, right? And every one of them has been unique. This one will be the most produced game we've ever done in the history, and I will argue that probably the most produced game that's ever been done in the history of the USL.
Yeah.
Right. And so, tomorrow we're going to have a total of 6 cameras in total tomorrow, and it's just really be fun. So I think for me, one, being able to enjoy the moment, but it's probably more like once it's all over with, right?
Yeah.
Because all the prep, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the players out there right now are training, and we've been, preparing for this for, 89 days. And think about that, right? The first game of the USL was back on May 3rd.
Ooh, that's a long time.
So 89 days ago. But and during that time period, between the men and women, we oversaw, close to 1,600 games in 89 days. And obviously during all of that time period, it was also the World Cup. Right, and we were also handling other games in other leagues, and so so this is like a culmination of the entire summer for us, and so a much deserved break. Starting here on Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It feels like everything is just coming to one final stop. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better ending, though. In Flint City, in Flint. It's not Flint City's the name. It's just Flint.
Vehicle City.
Yes.
Vehicle City is
in Michigan, a chance to host a national championship for the USL2 the first time since 2019. And then you got to think about Vermont Green as well. They have not lost a game since 2024. It just feels like that's the standard of the club. Even if you look at the women's side as well, as they just get to finals, they win finals, whatever it is. And I mean, just this game alone is super exciting. You had the late heroics for Moeller Jensen right here on this field on Sunday, which, by the way, if you have not checked out that goal, make sure you do. Over 600,000 views on Instagram. I actually asked Moeller Jensen on Tuesday. I was like, "Do you realize that it has 600,000 views?" And he's like, "No."
I mean, to be fair, I mean it's it's probably combined, right? Because that video has been reshared, right?
Yeah.
And so it's been reshared, reposted. The referee channel picked it up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, so that specific video has gotten a lot of traction, as it should, because a goal in the death, right? You're talking about that game, and we talked about it, kind of at the end of that game, and I've talked about it, with other people within the soccer community since last weekend, and it was a very unique kind of scenario, right, where we talked about the broadcast, like Ventura for a good chunk of that game argued was a better team. Right, and even Paul Doro mentioned it, man. That's one great thing that's crazy about soccer. 90 minutes, and you could be the best team on the field, and you can come away with a loss.
Yeah.
Right, and so we saw like this chess match where, hey, for 5 or 6 minutes there was a spell of possession and opportunity for Ventura, and then you saw the same thing with Flint. You saw these things kind of happening throughout the first half. The second half was a little bit much of the same, but we saw some life come in, especially in the second half of that second half, from when Jory Lopez, Ludwig, when Callum Shillington stepped on the pitch. That changed everything, and Ventura kind of went into a shell. And almost, and I think someone was saying, hey, they ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Is it yeah, it's definitely possible.
I think they were playing for the extra time.
I do too. I think that, hey, there's a risk reward. We talked about in the broadcast. What was the reward or the risk that could come from trying to going into the attack? And what happened? They had come down here. They had not been attacking. They've been more of in a shell. They come up the field here. They lose possession. Bingo, Kadua finds Shillington, and then Shillington's taken down off the race as they go. They score that goal. And had they not tried to go forward that ball, I would argue that we don't see that happen, and we go into extra time, and then in that moment, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think that what you're mentioning, for the people who did not watch the game, that there was a moment in the game where a hydration break happened, and then the game flipped in favor of Flint City, where they changed the defensive shape. They went into like a 4-1-3-2. That really gave Ventura County a lot of issues, and at that point, they were just kind of sitting back. And then Angel Hernandez, who was, again, phenomenal on the day. Again, I mean, both goalkeepers, Clark and Hernandez, were fantastic on Sunday, as they were all weekend, and he had to fix a contact, and everyone in the comment section was like, why are we 2 minutes past the added time? That's why we call it secret time here, folks, because no one truly knows when it's going to end. That little contact adjustment added all that extra time. It gets crossed in, and Moeller Jensen, and a lot of people were comparing it to the Messi goal versus Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, I think in like 2016, where he took off his jersey and then like showed it to the fans, his Messi jersey. A lot of people compared it to that. I don't think Mueller Jensen was really wanted to be in that comparison, but
probably not.
He was very excited about the amount of views that goal created and the amount of buzz all around the soccer community. If you have not checked it out at all, make sure you guys check it out. Mueller Jensen's goal versus Ventura County.
We also have to. We can't not mention in the same sentence about Diamande. Right, because we talked about and so and this is where I was talking about. Hey, I've been a part of 6 national championships, and so
also another very. If you have not met John Turner before, you may have been hearing his voice recently. Yes, Yan Diamande has gone to Real Madrid. He was in the UPSL final that you did like 4 years ago.
This is how this all kind of works out, right? So in 2023. Flint City hosted that quarterfinal and semifinal pod. It was Ballard. It was Ballard. It was Des Moines. It was Ventura. It was Flint. Flint beat Des Moines Menace on Friday night, and then they played in the semifinal. They lost to Ballard in that game. I think the score was 1-0. Ballard went on to win. Well, that weekend, had Flint won it, they would have hosted it the next weekend. And the next weekend was the UPSL National Championship weekend. And so we were going to be in Leesburg, Virginia from Thursday to Monday preparing, and doing that national championship. And so I was now having to plan on that Sunday night right before the match. I was having to kind of put like some flight plans in place to come back here and be a part of the national championship here if it was here on that Saturday. Unfortunately, Flint lost that game, but I went into Leesburg, Virginia, and yes, Diamande, who was part of Frenzy FC, was in the UPSL National Championship, one of the youngest teams as a whole in the entire league that year. Won the national championship, and yeah, if you're watching ESPN FC, if you're seeing that UPSL game, that is my voice calling his name twice during that game. It was exciting. He had a great tournament. He obviously won player of the tournament, like MVP.
He got $1,000
for it, right? And now he's obviously playing for Ivory Coast in the World Cup. And hey, you know what? Anytime you have a player who can come up through the system here in the United States, right? The grassroots teams all the way through to the semi-professional and even more. It's amazing. And so kudos to him. And it's pretty cool that I get to say, hey, I had a chance to call his name.
$100 billion player.
Yeah, well before he ever made it, to where he's at now. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. Him obviously being in Florida, being in the area. He did not play high school soccer in Florida. Everyone was very prominent.
In the academies.
Yes, he was in the academies.
Yep.
Played in the UPSL, which is one of the smaller divisions. But that just shows that these leagues, the USL2 included. I mean, you think about it with Ballard FC last year or this year, they had the Harrison Bertos who scored the game-winning goal. You think about Flint City and Donovan Phillip. They had the Mac Herman player, at least the Mac Herman finalist. Did he win it all?
He won the whole thing.
He did win the whole.
Yeah, we called his name last year in Ballard, and obviously all throughout the season with Flint City. So yeah, I mean. That's a really cool thing about this league too, right? Flint has, I think, over the years has sent upwards of 45 plus players to the next level. MLS.
Steve Clark, who's a player right now, came back. He's a goalkeeper, played in the MLS for a handful of years.
It's one of those things, almost like that Kevin Costner, right? And I've drawn a blank on the movie. He was like catcher. Remember that? Yeah, but I never made it to the majors, but I always played like in the minor league. I'm drawing a blank on the
damn
movie.
It's not the Field of Dreams, is it?
No, it's not Field of Dreams. I'm drawing a blank. It's anyways. It's would have been a good pull.
Yes.
But you got a player who really can't play anymore, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and he can still play, but at that level he can't play anymore. So he's coming down here, and what is he doing? He's helping support a team in Flint City who is still at 40 years old probably the best goalkeeper in the country at USL2 level.
Yeah.
Right?
Made impressive saves on the weekend.
Experience and all those things. So it's really neat that he has a chance to be a part of this, and we get a chance to call his name again. Vermont, hey, they have not lost a game since 2024. They have what? They've won 17 games this season in total. Right? They had 13 regular season victories.
The Canadian national team on preparation to a World Cup.
They're well coached. Their fan base is tremendous, right? You can't say enough about both these fan bases. Vermont draws 3,000 to 4,000 people to every single one of their games. It is a packed house. Come here to Flint. Hey, they had 4,000 fans here on Sunday. They expect 5,000 plus here tomorrow, right? And in 2019, when they were here, they had 7,100 people when they showed up. And I do think that the weather, unfortunately, Unfortunately, there will be the weather tomorrow is somewhat questionable, and I think that might maybe not get the draw you want if you're Flint, but either way, I mean, to have 5,000 people watch a soccer game here in Michigan is going to be fantastic. We got a comment?
We have a whole bunch going on. Dave is pissed off about his Scottish team that is losing currently right now.
Well, sorry about that, Dave.
USL2 is the 4th division of American soccer. Let's see here. Diamande is playing for Fabian's favorite team, Real Madrid. And then we've got someone says... someone from Restream on Facebook says, "For the love of the game," from Steve.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
For the love of the game. Apparently we're trying to keep James away from the camera today, I guess. James can come down.
I mean, he could turn the camera around and find out. But again, there's a camera right up there. But James is like, I'm okay.
Let's see here. Also from Facebook, he mentions Francis De Vries, former Buck, played for New Zealand in this year's World Cup.
Yeah.
So Flint City Bucks, I mean, if you think about it, Flint City too over the years as well. I mean, knocking off MLS sides. I believe they knocked off the New England Revolution in 2012, 2013, that time frame. Then them knocking off Forward Madison earlier this year in the U.S. Open Cup, had a chance to knock down DCFC as well in the USL Championship. I mean, that's why they call them, I believe, the giant killers when it comes to the U.S. Open Cup. I mean, how many of these teams? And I mean, in the divisions, everyone's like, well, that division's worse than this division based on the top. In theory, yeah, but I mean, the best of the best in this division can compete with just about anyone in the USL.
I think that too. There are pockets in this country where there's just hotbeds of talent, right? And you can see it, right? I mean, you look, don't go into Texas, right? Because Texas all year round, Florida, the East Coast. You've got the Carolinas, and hey, I to be fair, I never thought of Vermont as a place where you might have a hotbed of talent, but clearly they have found a recipe that creates a winning culture in Vermont. And the same thing could be true maybe even here in Flint. Michigan has always really bred good players, but players come to Michigan to play every summer because of what Flint has created since 1995. And so I think that's an important thing. I also think, too, that in these pockets you have teams that are really, really good. And if you look at the USL2 as a whole, every year you see the same teams in the playoffs. And why is that? It's not because there aren't other teams that aren't good enough. Mm-hmm. It's just that there are teams. It's very much like if you look at the NFL, right? You have a lot of teams who are coming in first time in the playoffs, and then you have these consistencies.
Lions are never in that mix.
No, the consistency that you might see, right? The Patriots for the longest time, right? The Kansas City Chiefs, right? You have these teams who have created the consistency of winning, and they always find themselves in the playoffs. They always find themselves in a place to win, to go earn a championship. And so there are teams within each. Hey, USL. And USL is a perfect example. They are a perfect size. There are 158 teams, right? You have other leagues around the country that are 300, 400 size. And how could you find the same teams? Well, it's challenging. But like in the UPSL, the Renegades won it last year. They're making their way back to a Final Four again. And that's challenging. Yeah. Chicago Nation, and I have a great relationship with Garrett Hayward over at Chicago Nation, and they play in the UPSL, and I think that they want to be in the USL too as well. But, they've always found a way to make their way into, that conversation. Hey, making it to a quarterfinal, and then making it to a final. I think they've been to four Final Fours.
Obviously more about the league, the more in depth of the league than I do. Why do you think that is? Is that because of the coaching? Is that because of the fan base? Is that because of their system and their scouting networks? Why do you think that is?
I think you find that certain teams that have a consistency of winning also have something else. And they've created an intangible environment. What I mean by that is I'll look at Flint and Vermont. They house their players, right? And so, another example here in the Great Lakes, you got like a team like Union FC Macomb, right? Well, they come to practice, they go home, right? They might practice 3 days a week, right? Vermont, they're housed. They all play together. They stay together. That is an unmatched environment. You cannot match that to an environment where you're showing up 3 days a week and you're just training and then you're going to go home. There's no way to match that. And so the teams that have found success over the years are the ones that, hey, they're on a college campus, they're housing players, and they are all together all the time for that entire summer. And when you create that environment, you create continuity, you create consistency, you create cohesiveness, camaraderie, bonding. That the entire summer, they're a family. And not saying other teams can't be families outside that environment, but the ones that find success in this league are the ones that are treating themselves just like a Major League Soccer team, right?
Yeah.
Just like a team across the pond. You have to be together. You have to stay together, and then hey, on the field, when you make a pass, you know your teammate's going to get there.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that's a huge factor in all of this. Not saying that other teams can't have success, but if you look at the last 5 years, who's won it? Right? Ballard, they won it, right? Vermont's won it. They do the same recipe.
Ventura County.
Before Ventura County, right? I don't know if Ventura houses players. But again, they're in that area of California where they got really good talent, a really good system, and I think they might be, again, I don't know if they house players, but Peoria City, they were in the finals here a number of years ago. They house players. They're on a college campus. They play at Chase Stadium. I think that plays a big factor in this. Laredo, Texas, they own their own facility. I think it seats like 7,000 people or something. It's great. They have a great facility, but they own their own facility. Right, and so the teams that treat themselves like professional organizations are the ones that are going to find in this league the most success. Not saying that you can't find it with a Union or another team like them, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah. Dave says the ladder is the MLS is Division I. USL is planning to have a new ladder system, but as it stands currently, USL Championship. If the MLS is its own separate entity, the USL has USL Championship, which is the number 1 division in the USL. That's where DCFC
For right now
is.
it is.
Yeah, for right now. And then you have USL League One, and then it goes into USL 2, which that is where we are at currently right now. But yes, I think it's 2028, 2029 that they are planning on having
2028.
2028, where it's a USL Premier and then Championship 2 or 1 and then 2. Is that how it's going to go?
That's correct. Yep. Yeah, and you're going to see a number of teams that go from Championship to that new league. I think that what they're looking for is somewhere around 14 teams in that first league. They're going to want to keep that 28 or so in the second league and Championship, and then they'll want to be around that mid-20s in League One, and then so you're going to see some teams who are currently in League Two will make their way into League One. We saw that last year with Fort Wayne. They made their way into League One, and we're going to see teams go from League One up to Championship, and then from there. And so I do think that we're going to see Detroit City FC as an example. They're building their stadium to meet that new requirement of the top leagues. You have to have a stadium over 15,000 in order to be even the conversation to be a Division I, Tier 1.
Yeah, we've been seeing that with
team. Riveters are doing the
Riverhounds. Riveters is the W2.
Are doing the exact same
DCFC.
thing. They're building and they're expanding their stadium in order to get to that. So they're both going to be in that league.
We got another one here from William. He says, "Hi everyone, greetings from Ecuador.
Nice.
We are in Flint, Michigan right now." William and Fabian says, "So it would be MLS Division 1, USL Championship Division 2, USL 1 Division 3, USL 2 Division 4. Yes, you would be correct on that one. Again, if you are just joining us, we are live here at Atwood Stadium right now. Vermont Green, Flint City Bucks, USL 2 Championship here tomorrow. John and I will both be on the call for that one. What's a key player that we should look out for on both sides?
Well, Brandon Marshall, obviously defensively for Vermont was just named Defensive Player of the Year by USL League Two. So obviously defensively, that's a player that I think is going to have his hands full here tomorrow with Muller Jensen, as long as I'm going to be Ada, right? If we see him on the pitch tomorrow, again, it all depends, because we saw Jordi Lopez step into that role. We saw Aguna Bionde in that role. Muller Jensen's up there. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do tomorrow as far as Flint does against that defense of Vermont, because they have not allowed a lot of goals.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, they scored 19 and allowed 1. The only goal they gave up was in the semifinals in the waning moments of the first half. They were down 2-0. Was Laredo. They scored a goal, and then the wheels fall off in the second half.
7-1.
7-1.
Shout out Germany, Brazil.
Again, tomorrow specifically, if we're looking at a player offensively, I think it's Zelfra. He scored 4 goals, 3 assists here so far in the playoffs. So he's a player to look out for on the Vermont side. We mentioned Muller Jensen. There's a sleeper in there, and I think it's Kadua. He didn't have a good showing on Sunday. We didn't see him at all on Friday, but we saw him on Sunday. And I'll tell you, he struggled a bit, but he was part of that winning goal. And if Bingo Kadua can get involved in this game, he could be a game changer, because, first off, Vermont has not seen a team like Flint. All right, they haven't, and I know that 7-1 is a lopsided victory, and they've scored some goals against some.
Flint City did win 4-0 against Peoria.
They did, and so they can score goals. I think though that they're both teams are equally matched here, and I'm looking forward to a fun game. Nobody wants to see a big time scoreline tomorrow. Everyone wants to see 7-1 or 4-0. We want. I mean, as a soccer purist that I am, I love a 0-0 game. That what we saw like on Sunday of last week,
yeah.
where in the death, hey, it's a 1-1 game and something happens, and
that's what happened in the championship game a year ago.
Yeah, we want to see something late. Yeah, I mean, there's a penalty shot. I think in that game, Vermont was down in that game, and then they got a PK to equalize it, and then they ended up finding the go-ahead goal late in that game. If it wasn't in stoppage, it was pretty darn close, and so they won that game 2-1. Last summer on the same day, but
So we got Fabian who's the one to watch. John just mentioned it. Who is the dark horse? I would personally say for Flint City, the dark horse I think is Carnival. In those 2 weekend matchups that we saw last week, Paul Doro went to. And by the way, you can catch us all on Sports Engine Play tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I saw that a couple in the comments there, but. What I saw from Paul Doro going to Carnival, it felt like every single hydration break or after every halftime and barking instructions to him. You don't see that very often, and he goes to Carnival every single time. He, of course, had an assist on Friday. It was a part of the movement, I believe, a little bit, or he wasn't in the Flint City winner, but he's a dark horse to mention for Flint City. But any last words before we head to a commercial break here? We are due for a commercial break.
No, I mean, hey, they're setting things up right now. The league is here putting together, all the boards and getting things ready so that tomorrow on the broadcast it all looks nice and pretty, and we're doing our final testing. So, but yeah, no, I don't have anything else to say. Looking forward to tomorrow, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Yes, we are here. We'll have more insight. Again, before we get to the commercial break, Sports Engine Play tomorrow. You can catch the USL2 final, Flint City versus Vermont Green, right here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Both of us will be on the call. But we'll step aside. Inside the Game will continue right after this.
Great game footage starts with VIO. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. Live games, highlights, and more each and every day. Only on the National Soccer Network.
The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. The U.S. look like they are truly poised for a dream run at this point. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 and over, select state. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Great game footage starts with VIO. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Game, episode 328. We're out of breath here for a second. Just ran down to the field, try to get an interview with Joel Nash, the commissioner here of the USL2. He said he's interested for sure, but man, I need to do a beep test. My fitness levels are poor. I'm all right.
You good? You
doing okay. I think James has got a camera. He set himself back up.
I did.
But maybe James will be popping in back on camera. But yeah, no, it is just catching my breath here. There's James. There's James. Please make sure you guys smash the like button. Subscribe if you guys have not already. But how hot is it up there, James? How hot is it in the press box right now?
So I'm sweating pretty bad right now. I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. Not gonna lie. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm really excited up here. I'm feeling good. I got my Spider-Man shirt. Life is fun.
All right, I think you're done talking. I can barely tell, but here we go. Vermont Green, Flint City. Vermont obviously warming up our training today, and then obviously Flint City will be going on around 6:30 p.m. Eastern today as well as they get their training session in before tomorrow's final. Again, John Turner and we will be on the call for tomorrow, including James will be on the field somewhere. I don't know where James will be. James will be on the field somewhere. He'll be where? He'll be to be determined. James will be here. We just don't know where James will be. But he'll be here. James will be here for the game tomorrow. Again, a great environment here today. Obviously, Flint City, first time hosting it since 2019. The reigning champions in Vermont Green still have yet to lose this year. Hopefully, we can bring in Joel at some point as I finally catch my breath here. Whew. But anyway. Yeah, dude, James and I both got haircuts, actually.
We did. We both got haircuts.
Haircuts look pretty fresh.
We both got haircuts, Ryan.
Whew. Yeah, no, James no longer has Bieber fever. That is true. That is
right,
true.
That's right.
But, again, I don't know how long we're going to go today. I think we're just going to have some fun with it and see what we could possibly do. But, again, looking at the Infantino thing, that's what we wanted to talk about earlier, and then John and I started going on a big spiel about the game. The Infantino thing, it reminds me a lot of of the Super League back in 2020, 2021. That was like the last point I made before John and I both started talking. And we could get into the Vinicius Jr. conversation, Arsenal, if we really want to get to that one as well, just to fill some time. But looking at what's going on right now in the world game, I think the phrase that is created by the poor, stolen by the rich, is really something that is starting to come into fruition with everything that is going on in the world's game. We cannot have $4.2 billion tied up into private investors in the World Cup. They don't deserve to be in there. They should not be in there. I understand making as much money as humanly possible, and I will never knock someone for trying to do that. But to mess with the World Cup like this and to go completely off grid here and try to generate $4.2 billion and put 20 extra million in your pocket, that being Infantino, and with all the scrutiny this man has received recently in the last 12 months or so, not a big fan of this move. And we're already seeing a whole bunch of nations stand up to him. We're seeing a whole bunch of federations stand up to him. And the only way to get Infantino out is if all of a sudden you really start to see a CONMEBOL. I think once CONMEBOL, that domino falls and they all of a sudden say they don't want to participate in the World Cup, then I really think that Infantino might be out. He might be head over heels at that point, and he might be out as the FIFA president. And I just don't think that he will be a part. I don't think he'll be a part of it and have a job. But just looking at what Infantino has done in his time, and it's been a lot of scrutiny so far. You obviously saw the 2022 World Cup, which again I thought the final itself was a phenomenal one, but when you looked at everything that transpired in leading up to the World Cup in 2022, that's under his watch. That's under his watch, and you can't be doing anything with that. And I think we're starting to see that with many leagues as well. Just not even soccer, all sports around the world, all leagues in sports around the world. You're seeing expanded tournaments, trying to generate more commercial revenue. I understand that, but I just think though that this does not deserve to be in the game, and I think that is just too much greed that is coming in from Infantino. I think he is really starting to walk a fine line in terms of who likes him and who doesn't, because I don't know if there's many people that like Infantino and for what he has been doing recently, and especially with this added thing that is currently going on. But if we are looking at what Infantino is trying to do, just trying to generate more money. And again, a lot of people have been upset about it. That's why so many people were against the horrible halftime show that transpired in the World Cup final, because that was to generate more commercial revenue and as much commercial revenue as possible. We're going to step aside for a quick second. We're going to take a break, and then we will have, I believe, Joel Nash on the other side of this. So don't go anywhere. Inside the Game will continue.
Great game footage starts with Veo.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your Veo footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Veo experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. Great game footage starts with Veo.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your VO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
Back to historic Atwood Stadium in Flint, Michigan. We are here for the USL2 Finals, Flint City Bucks versus Vermont Green. And now we are joined by Senior Vice President Joel Nash, who's been on the network before. Joel, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to just got in this morning, so excited to be here in Flint.
First time in Michigan?
It is not, because most people should know this. 2019 was standing right here when the Bucks were crowned champions. So I was here in 2019 as well.
Is this Flint is the only place you visited?
In Michigan?
Yes.
No, I've been all over. Detroit plenty of times.
Okay, gotcha.
Oakland County a few times.
Because when I talked to head coach Taylor over there for Vermont Green, he said he's been to Mackinac Island. So that's why I had to ask where you've been.
I haven't been yet.
Yeah, that's why I had to ask before you. Is setting up all the boards and everything, is that part of your job description, or are you just doing out there to get some fitness and some exercise in?
Hopefully any leader with the team lifting anything they need to lift. So been doing it a long time, but yeah, it's honestly a good team building exercise, and we want to make sure we put on a good show.
All right, talking about the USL2 now, has it been a successful season in your eyes?
Honestly, and every year we certainly come out and hope that the next season is going to be the best one we've had, and unequivocally I would say this has been the best one. Certainly the largest one. I think we're seeing the amount of clubs that, just the types of communities that are behind them, and I think tomorrow is going to represent two clubs that couldn't have a better fan base and just everything that goes into what a club means. So this year, obviously icing on the cake that it was a World Cup year, so
yeah,
we get to bring soccer back. But yeah, we're excited.
Flint City back in 2019, you were here. I was not. What was the environment like?
Well, I can remember because I think it was one of the first times that we really realized this league and this level are going to be something special.
There we go. We're good now. Yeah, there we go. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there were 7,000 fans here, and that was certainly a record for us. And thankfully, every year has just had its own, we'll call it kind of one-up, so to speak. But, yeah, it was incredible in 2019.
Is Vermont Green starting to become that staple club, not only in the USLW, but the USL2? They've been to now 2 finals in the USL2, inaugural season USLW. They make it all the way to the final. They start to become that staple club.
You know what's awesome, too, is I can remember the very first time I spoke to, Matthew, Patrick, and Sam, and it's clubs like the Bucks that helped lead the way, and there were clubs before the Bucks, or certainly the Bucks in Flint, that were leading the way. So I think Vermont represents exactly what you said, where it's a continuation in the end. Burlington and the whole state of Vermont have gotten behind the Green, and they've got an incredible fan group as well. We saw a lot of them out at the W League final all the way across the country and in Ballard, and I know the representation is going to be great here tonight. So I definitely think Vermont's part of really just a continuation of what we're watching at this level grow.
As being part of as vice president, is like the most calm part the actual game, or is because I feel like everything building up to it, you're so stressed out, but when you get to the game, is that finally a spot where you can just calm down, relax, maybe talk to a couple people you haven't to yet?
I would like to think so. In the end, it's amazing to watch the actual product, because in the end, the 22 players on the field, and the benches are what make this sport. Everything around it is what we love and appreciate. I definitely enjoy it. I love football so much, so I'm watching it with my own eyes and intent and hoping the product is really good. But there's also plenty of nerves, right? There's a lot that goes into this. We know what the clubs put into hosting a game like this as well, so definitely looking forward to enjoying the match, tomorrow.
What are you looking forward to the most tomorrow?
I think you've got two teams that are delivering the best soccer that we've seen in the league this year and even in playoffs. I definitely think Vermont's ready to show up to an away ground with a level of ultimately goal scoring ability, as we saw in the semifinals as well. But ultimately with the Bucks, the home crowd, and what the Bucks have done this year as well, honestly, I think it's going to be a barnstormer in the sense of whether the goal is going or not. I don't think either team's showing up tomorrow hoping to just kind of sit back and control the pressure. I think both are going to go after it.
Oh, I forgot to mention this one a little bit earlier. What made a place like Flint City so special to host a national championship game?
The fans, first and foremost. I think the history that this club brings is an opportunity for us to remind obviously the League Two audience, but the larger American soccer audience that soccer has been in communities like this for a long time. And even since the Bucks moved to Flint in 2019, I think their fans are used to the Bucks at least coming close, if not to the final, as we obviously talked about in 2019. So the fans were at the core of it. Just the history that the Bucks have is something that we want to do in some ways remind the league about, because there's nothing quite like a league final to showcase what a club and a community can bring. And we're grateful for Vermont, coming alongside us on that. And obviously they would have loved to have hosted and had good conversations with their ownership about it. But yeah, I think it's a great also matchup between a newer team and obviously a historic team.
What can you tell us about the future of the USL 2 and the USL as a whole?
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think we in our own humble way want to just continue to not change as if something's wrong, but improve and grow this sport. We're blessed as a whole company to have male and female from literally 9 and 10-year-olds in USL youth all the way up to the full professionals in the Cambridge Super League and of course the championship. I think League Two, look, 158 communities competed this year. We're going to have more next year, because the way I like to look at it, a lot of times I get the question of, well, how many are you going to cap? Like, when are you going to stop growing? Well, in 2018, there was nothing in Flint, Michigan. But then look at what's happened in Flint. Same thing with Burlington. And there are hundreds of communities like that across the country that we're looking forward to building clubs in.
Yeah, it almost feels like here in Flint, because this used to be like the Mid-Michigan Bucks, I think was the correct name before 2019. And now it's Flint City. It almost feels like we're starting to build some locations and some destinations for soccer fans all around the country or all around the states, wherever it is. Vermont and Flint City definitely feels like that's a spot that they're starting to build in.
I was thinking about this because I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what phase of the playoffs, but we had Fort Lauderdale, Burlington, Vermont, Seattle, Washington, and Ventura, California, literally, and Laredo, Texas, about as broad of our whole country represented. And then you start to go in and you've got a million communities that, to your point, want to just celebrate who they are, right? It doesn't have to always be, and you see this in the global game, it doesn't have to always be the bright, shiny lights of the mega cities. It's people that want to represent where they're from, get behind something that their own city and community are on that badge, and then that kind of draws in that entire community feel and all those buzzwords of fabric of the community and the 12th man or 12th woman in terms of the crowd. That's when they come to life.
What is the first thing you're going to do once this final ends? Once you get everything packed away, what's the first thing you're going to do?
I know it sounds cliche, but literally we're already starting for 27.
Okay.
We'll begin preparation with working with our teams. Obviously, a lot of our clubs, 156, have already finished their season. There's only 2 left. So we're prepared to learn from their experiences this year, take those learnings and findings, work with our clubs. We have the opportunity, because we have a long season in League Two, to really continue to try and build what the clubs do in their off season, from trying to build their fan base and to continue to recruit talent. So our job really doesn't stop as much as we have a long off season. So that'll be what we start focusing on.
All right, final question, fun one here. If you had an opportunity to go see any band or artist at a live concert, dead or alive, who are you going to see and why?
Oh, this will be good. It would be a repeat for me.
Okay.
I'm a big electronic music fan.
Okay.
So Griffin, and I saw Griffin at Red Rocks in Colorado a couple years ago, and it was, if anybody's been, I think they'll know, no matter who you see there, it's kind of life-changing. So I would do that again.
So Griffin is like an EDM,
He's
electric?
an electronic, like EDM artist.
Okay, gotcha. I do like some EDM. I had never heard of them, so I'm going to have to put it on the way to the hotel.
Definitely
here
find
tonight.
him. Yeah,
Griffin?
he's
Griffin, you
good.
said?
Yeah, with a Griffyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would have said it IN. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Joel. Anything else you'd like to add before we step aside?
No, we're excited. Thank you all for what y'all do as well as a network, and hope everybody comes out and watches the game tomorrow.
Yeah, again, final USL 2, Sports Edge and Play, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. This is Senior Vice President Joel Nash. Inside the Game will continue right after this.
Great game footage starts with Vio.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your Vio footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Vio experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. Live games, highlights, and more each and every day. Only on the National Soccer Network.
The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. The U.S. look like they are truly poised for a dream run at this point. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 and over, select state. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Great game footage starts with Vio.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your Vio footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Vio experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
Welcome back to Inside the Game, episode 328. There's just people making me laugh behind camera and all that fun stuff. We just spoke with Joel Nash, who is probably going to walk behind us now as he gets ready to get everything set up. I mean, everything is now truly being set up. You can see some of it behind me. But again, we are live here at Atwood Stadium for the USL 2 finals here between Flint City and the Vermont Green FC. Again, reigning champions Vermont Green FC. Flint City Bucks looking to win their first title since 2019. But again, we look here, a couple of comments. Again, was unable to really get a bunch of you guys your comments in as much as normal. Dave says, looks like Rangers have equalized. Shout out Rangers. Get a Puerto Rico team. That'd be cool in the USL. Let's see here. Caden, welcome in. Caden, he says, thank God Europe boycotted. Again, that's another thing about the World Cup as well. It's like, well, you know, they're going to boycott, but again, the next World Cup's not for another 4 years. So there's still a lot of time. Again, I think all of them will be there by 2030. I do believe that. I do think that for the most part, they're going to step aside for a little bit, and then once the friendlies might not happen in September, October, November, but again, who really cares about that, especially with no qualifiers, and then they'll get everything going into the World Cup. So I do believe everyone will be set in stone for the World Cup by 2030, but I do believe that is. Dave says, we'd love to see the USL 2 explode into a regional setup, letting the smaller teams build up over the years, move up into the USL 1 without financial pressure. Well, they are set to do something in 2028. Is that the correct? 2028, yes, is when Pro-Rel is supposed to be happening in the USL, which, again, I think everyone is truly, truly excited for. Fabian, Ryan, Messi is the worst player ever. Ask Dave. Messi is the GOAT. He is better than Kylian Mbappe and Ronaldo. Fabian, last time I checked, in big moments, Kylian Mbappe has got one goal in every 233 minutes. That's all I got to say. Is one goal every 233 minutes in the World Cup, or in elimination games in the World Cup and in the Champions League. 5. Okay. All right, we're going to step aside real quick for Inside the Game. We've got the Vermont Green Sporting Director, Adam Pfeiffer, coming on here, so don't go anywhere. Inside the Game will continue.
Great game footage starts with VIO.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Great game footage starts with VIO.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
Welcome back to Inside the Game, episode 328. We're at historic Atwood Stadium for the USL2 finals between Flint City Bucks and Vermont Green. My name's Ryan Glinsky, James Schofield, our producer, and now we have a very special guest, sporting director of Vermont Green, Adam Pfeiffer. Adam, how are you doing here today?
I'm doing good.
First time in Michigan?
No. My wife actually went to the University of Michigan, so we
Shout out,
visit
go
here
Blue.
every now and again. Yeah.
Where have you been in Michigan besides Ann Arbor?
I've been to Ann Arbor. We've been to Lansing for a wedding, but really Ann Arbor a few times. Yeah.
Get a chance to go to the Big House. Did you go to a football game?
I did. I was actually at the Appalachian State Michigan game years ago. That was a
man,
bummer.
that's not good, Adam.
Yeah.
Well, you got to witness history that day.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the normal scheduled programming here about soccer talk. Feel bad for you a little bit having to witness that. But again, Vermont Green, you've been here since the start. What got you sold on the project?
Honestly, I had played in the PDL years ago for the Cape Cod Crusaders, and we used to play against the Vermont Voltage, and anytime we went up to Vermont, like, just the atmosphere was great, and I had always kind of felt like it was a place that was starving for a USL 2 team, and a mutual friend of mine and the clubs had come to me and just kind of told me that there was talk of a USL 2 team, and when I found that out, it was something I had thought about from a sporting standpoint, from the technical standpoint of how I would want to build a team up here, and we kind of took it from there.
What has been the biggest support from Vermont Green?
The biggest support, obviously, our support, our fans, our all the entire community that kind of gets around the club throughout the year, whether it's the Open Cup or the the W League season, or obviously our USL 2 team. It's been incredible.
The first time I ever saw you guys play is USL 2 championship a year ago. I saw fans on top of Porta Johns trying to just get a glimpse. Is that just a week in, week out normal thing for your Vermont fans?
Yeah, I mean, it became kind of normal last summer, especially. There's always kind of been that overflow seating behind behind one of the goals. There've always been people sitting there on the hill. It obviously grew to a point where it actually got a little bit uncomfortable and scary as people were kind of getting up on different structures. I mean, in fairness, in the final, like, people weren't really up on those structures. Those were the games before that. But took some of the windscreens down, and just allowed people to kind of watch from outside the stadium, and it was an incredible atmosphere.
What is different about this year than last season? You guys won it a year ago. This year, maybe target on your back. What is different from the 2026 squad to 2025?
It's a similar team. It was built in a very similar fashion. I think that this team is probably, we've scored a lot more goals this year, but it's the same kind of group in terms of, like, where the players are coming from, and the level that the players are playing at, and the aspirations that the players have. These are all guys that want to be professionals, and those are the players that we're after, and so we've been able to attract the serious players that want to make their summer about football and about them advancing in the game, not just in terms of being on a stage, which obviously they're going to be on tomorrow, but also just the training environment, that everyday consistency, and that's what we're really all about from a technical standpoint.
Want to get to, how do you find the Vermont Green FC player? What are some things that you are looking for to find that right player?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of traits, like I just mentioned, we want guys that want to be professionals and that want to make that kind of commitment. And so those are the guys that want to be in an environment like ours, where we're training every single morning, and our days off are probably 3 times a month, maybe. Guys that the day after a game, they want to come in the next morning and recover and get themselves right so that they can get ready to go again. So that's the number one thing. But we get players from all walks of life, all different countries all over the world. Players from, mostly from college players, and those are the players that we are mostly focused on, recruiting and bringing in. Trying to be an extension of that sort of college system where there's a little bit of a gap there in terms of the amount of games and trainings and things that they can do because of some of the NCAA rules, and so we're trying to fill that gap a little bit the best that we can and keep these guys all healthy and fit and make sure that they're sharp when they start preseason in like 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. That is something that you guys have had to balance, obviously, with the college coaches and maybe minute restrictions. Is that something that you guys have had to balance here the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. We had like 8 guys on minute restrictions last week, and it adds a whole different element for obviously for our coaching staff and different kind of angst going into those games. Like I think that the biggest difference between this year's group and last year's group is that we had to come back, I think, in like 4 games in a row. 3 of those were in the playoffs, and 1 was our last game of the regular season last year. And so we haven't had to do that yet, but that's how the team's built is to be able to make changes late in the game and bring on guys that have as much quality as the players that are starting the match.
What makes this 2026 group so difficult to beat?
We scored a lot of goals, like I said. I think I don't know if I could put my finger on exactly what it's been. Obviously the group's gone unbeaten, but they go into every game with the mentality that they could be beat. I don't think that going into a game thinking that you're invincible is healthy. I don't think that they look at it that way. They know we tied a game in our conference this year against a team in Seacoast who gave us a real run for our money that day, and I think any of these, anybody that we play, whether it's in the playoffs or in our division, like we go into every single one of those games thinking that we can be beaten, and the guys go out there to try to protect that.
Is the standard for you guys making finals, 2 USL2 championships appearances, USLW their first year, they make it all the way to a final as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's all different ways to have success. I think obviously our last 3 seasons. 3 competitive seasons and the 2 USL2 seasons and the USLW League seasons, we made it to finals. But really for us, like our focus is on that training environment, and I think that's where we've been most successful is having like a really professional training environment on a daily basis where all of our players are challenged and put in situations where they feel like they have to fight for a jersey to be able to get in the matches, and that's how players get better, when they have that sort of angst every day in training.
What are you looking forward here tomorrow night?
Honestly, I mean, just excited to go up against one of the most storied sort of franchises in USL2. This is a group that obviously has gone back to the PDL when they were I think the Mid-Michigan Bucks,
yes.
And they've had some different names, and it's one of the premier franchises in USL2, and having an opportunity to play against them at their stadium is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, when I was playing soccer in this state, they were considered the Mid-Michigan Bucks, and I thought when I started covering it, Flint City Bucks, that's new. Yeah. Find out it's Mid-Michigan. But last question here for you. If you had a chance to see any band or artist at a live concert, who are you going to see and why?
Jimi Hendrix.
Ooh.
That's always been it for me, and just I think that he's a just a special personality and artist, and I don't think he made it past 27 years old, so there's not a lot of people that are still alive that got to see him live, but I think that would be my choice. It's been that way for about 20 years. I'd love to go see Jimi Hendrix.
Actually, one last one. What's the future hold for Vermont Green?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could answer that. I think for right now we're really excited about the space that we're in, and just getting the women's team off the ground just this year, and having that group have some success, but mostly having 30 women that felt like they had like great experiences. Like that was very gratifying for us as a club. So we're focused on the space that we're in right now, and who knows what the future holds. If there's ever a more regionalized professional league in the U.S., I think we'd love to be a part of that. But it all has to be sustainable and make sense. So.
All right, anything else you'd like to add before we step aside?
No, thanks for having me.
All right, that has been Adam Pfeiffer, sporting director of Vermont Green. Don't go anywhere. Inside the game. We'll continue after this.
Great game footage starts with VIO.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your VIO footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your VIO experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
West Coast Goalkeeping, America's largest goalkeeper outfitter. Built by keepers, worn by pros. Made for keepers who live to stop everything.
Great game footage starts with Veo.
Now a pass deep and up front.
With NSN, we can transfer your Veo footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Veo experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for
All right, welcome back into Inside the Game, episode 328. My name is Ryan Glinsky. We've got our producer, James Schofield, up in the press box here at historic Atwood Stadium as we are getting ready for the USL 2 championship here tomorrow between Vermont Green and Flint City Bucks. Again, we've been joined so far by Senior Vice President Joel Nash of the USL 2 and Adam Pfeiffer, the Sporting Director of Vermont Green. We'll see what else we can pull. Maybe Flint City Bucks can pull in as well. We don't quite know yet. But again, it has been an absolute blast here today at Atwood Stadium. Again, Vermont Green just wrapping up their training session before the Flint City Bucks get ready for their training session here tonight as well. But again, don't really know what else to talk about at this point. Again, before we do, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and then for the rest of it, by the way, we did have to shout out one of our clients, teams, I guess we should say. But AC Connecticut, their boys, the reigning national champions in the USL Academy, they have made it to the finals. So again, I don't know if we have a horn at all here today, but smash the horn if you have the horn, James. I don't know. Okay, we don't have a horn. Okay. All right, we don't have a horn, I guess. But yeah, no, shout out AC Connecticut boys for making the USL Academy champion, or the finals yet again. And that'll be taking place at IMG in Bradenton, Florida, as they announced earlier this week in December. Very good AC Connecticut side, by the way. But I guess what we could talk about maybe is we could talk about Italy. I know the last time we had a show, Pep Guardiola, or that whole Italy debacle has been going on. We can talk about that. Is there anything special that we should talk about, James? Anything that you could think of before we get into that?
Did we already talk about the boycott, right?
Yeah, we talked about the European boycott quite a bit.
Yeah, we did. I don't know. I just want to talk about movies.
Movies?
Yeah.
What did you like about Spider-Man yesterday without spoiling it for me?
Okay. All right. I'll give you something.
I don't know if you can hear me very well. I don't know if you can hear me very well.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? All right. So, I mean, first of all, I saw both. I got to see Spider-Man and I got to see The Odyssey the other day as well. So I've seen both movies. But Spider-Man, I just have to say, I mean, obviously the whole premise, it's basically a boy turning into a man. I mean, it's a coming-of-age story for sure. But it was a lot of parallels almost between Guardians of the Galaxy, with Quill having to deal with Gamora not remembering him and all that stuff. So it was a lot of that.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of that in the movie. But I mean, just overall, Tom Holland is just great in everything he does. And I mean, he really is Peter Parker. I mean, hands down. Some cool moments, some cool cameos. Got to see Max, of course, from Stranger Things. She was in that.
Really?
Yeah, they did not reveal who she was. They have not done that, so
yeah,
no
please
spoilers
don't do that.
for you.
I would like to know who they all are.
Yeah, all we know is that she was on a bench at one point, because that's the only thing that they've shown so far in like the previews and everything. But I got to see who she was. Really excited to see what kind of implications who she is ends up becoming. And then I got to see The Odyssey too. And now, if you want something to kind of kill the time before you go watch the USL 2 championship or the final tomorrow, go see The Odyssey. It was amazing. The Odyssey was also just as good. Guy trying to get home. No spoilers there, because if you haven't read in the last 3,000 years, that's on you. But I mean, a 20-year journey. It was honestly one of the most amazing things to see, and obviously me from a producer standpoint watching it. They shot it all in IMAX, and let me tell y'all, okay? Let me tell y'all who are watching. When I say you shot it in IMAX, this is a large, noisy camera. Everything's shot in it, and every 3 minutes they got to reload the film. So no matter what's happening, they got to pause and every 3 minutes reload it. Just the scale of that movie was ridiculous. So before you go see USL 2 tomorrow, go check out either Spider-Man or go check out The Odyssey. And that is your little movie break.
Dave is saying The Simpsons already did it.
The Simpsons did everything. I remember Family Guy actually had a Simpsons Did It episode. Or no, South Park did. South Park had a Simpsons Did It episode because The Simpsons did everything already.
The Simpsons have done legitimately everything.
Everything. They've done everything.
They also predict the future.
They do. They actually predicted everything that's happened so far. Like,
who is the producer of The Simpsons?
Oh shoot, who is the producer?
Because I would like to know what that guy knows and what knowledge that man has, because he has some serious knowledge.
Yeah. Currently we've got include Matt Groening, James L. Brooks, and Al Jean.
Okay,
those three.
Like to know.
It's the triumvirate. It's the triumvirate of Nostradamus.
Yeah, I would like to know what they know. I really would. As looks like Vermont Green is wrapping up their training session here today, which means Flint City probably is not far away from their training session either.
Yeah, probably
as
not
both
soon.
of them get their final day
soon.
of prep in before the 7:30 p.m. kickoff in the USL 2. I guess since we talked about movies and stuff, I saw 72 Hours on Netflix the other day.
Oh my gosh.
That was not a bad movie.
I have not seen that in a while.
Well, it just came out, 72 Hours, with Kevin Hart and Marcelo Hernandez.
Oh, that one. Oh, I'm thinking of the, what was it? The one with, what's his face in it? Franco.
Yeah, no.
That's a
not
different
that.
one.
No, it just came out on Netflix. It was pretty good.
I got you.
It's a good laugh. There's Kevin Hart is just unking that situation, so it's pretty funny what they get their mess all into. But all right, so I guess we had a good talk with all the movies. Again, if you guys want to talk about anything, we can. Let's see here. We could talk about Italy. I know last time we did a show, everyone thought maybe Pep Guardiola was going to be the manager. He is not the manager at all. He has declined Italy. It is what is his name? It's the old Leicester City manager, Ranieri. I think that's his last name. I just got to double check there. But again, that whole Italian federation is it's a little bit of a mess at the moment. Let's see here. Head coach. I think it's Claudio Ranieri. No, it's not. It's Roberto Mancini. Ranieri is the new technical director. That's what it is. Full time, the Rangers have drawn new manager, new players, same crap Rangers. Poor, I feel bad for you, Dave. I truly feel bad for you just a little bit. Hey, it's still the first game of the season. You guys will still come back. But no, looking at Italy, everyone thought it was going to be Pep Guardiola. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be, myself included. And then he comes around and says, nope, I don't want to be the manager of Italy. Maybe the Netherlands is still on the table for him. That's just not the case. I think he just wants to take some time to relax. Andrea Pirlo was supposedly the new manager. However, Andrea Pirlo is somehow connected with some Russian betting scandal company that Italy was like, no, that can't be a part of it. Pirlo was actually appointed to that, but he's connected with some sort of weird thing, so he's unable to be a part of that. So then all of a sudden, they stopped that appointment. They delayed it. They said, nope, you're no longer the manager. And then they got rid of Maldini, I think, as the technical director. So then what do they do now? They appoint Roberto Mancini as the head coach and Ranieri as the new technical director. If Ranieri does sound, if both of these managers might sound familiar to you, if you were a Premier League fan, obviously both of those teams have been. Both of those guys have really been a part of some crazy Premier League sides. You think about Roberto Mancini and obviously him being the Manchester City manager that gets them the Premier League title, and he had the Aguero moment. He was the manager of that Aguero Pro, which, by the way, a very, very overrated moment in the game. Very overrated moment in all of soccer because QPR gave up. They truly just gave up. Let's be real. And then you have Mancini. He now slots in as the new head coach for Italy. And then you have Claudio Ranieri, who was a part of the 5,000-1 Leicester City side to win the Premier League title back in 2015, I believe. Jamie Vardy's having a party, Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kante, and all of those folks. That was a very, very fun side. But again, Italy, they a little bit in disarray at the moment. But again, I think they're starting to steady the ship a little bit. But there's a funny comment I saw when I was making. Again, if you have not followed us on TikTok, make sure you guys do that. There's a funny TikTok video where someone commented and it goes, Italy's been boycotting the World Cup since 2014, and I would say that is a very true statement. I know they're trying to host it in 2038 it is, because I think Saudi Arabia is 2034 and then Spain, Morocco, and all them are 2030. So that's what they are trying to see. Dave, Italy betting scandal never. Yeah, Juventus has been Italian soccer in Serie A has had some interesting stuff. I mean, you think about Juve. I mean, Juve was kind of the team. They're making deep runs in the early the mid 2010s. You had Paul Pogba, Carlos Tevez, Bonucci, Chiellini, Buffon, Pirlo, Arturo Vidal. All those players were there, and then all of a sudden they have a couple of scandals, and then they get thrown away, and they have to. I forget what exactly their punishment was, but they've really put them behind the 8 ball now as they're still trying to recover from it. But no, the Italian Football Federation has been having their fair share of scandals. Which is weird in all of this, though, is that they do have a European Championship in 2020, or it was in 2021 when they beat England on PKs, which England losing on PKs, never. That's one for you, Dave. But no, just looking at it, it has just been an absurd last couple of years for Italy. I mean, really since the 2014 World Cup, which I don't think they made it out of the group. They did not qualify for 2018, and then you thought that maybe they were turning over a leaf when they won the Euros back in 2020, and then they failed to make the 2022 and 2026 World Cups. So again, it has just been overall all over the place. And Italy, they've just been crazy. But yeah, no, there's the update on Italian soccer. There's another good topic. Did anyone watch the MLS All-Star game over the weekend? Did anyone do that? James, did you happen to tune into the MLS All-Star game this past week?
No, I was a little busy doing other stuff, setting up for everything and working out, all the equipment for while we were here. I've been fighting tech for the past 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, yeah, the MLS All-Star weekend games started this past week. I don't know what people's stance are on All-Star games for soccer. I know we've got a handful of European purists. And football purists, I know they like to say that all-star games are stupid, which, by the way, the USL2 will not have a halftime performance tomorrow. I believe that is worth mentioning because the World Cup had a horrible halftime performance in the final, but the USL2 will not have a halftime performance. That is worth mentioning, I think. But no, the MLS All-Star Week was going on. That took place in Charlotte at the Carolina Panthers home in the NFL, which, by the way, I'm getting excited for football season, I will tell you that. But it just feels right now that no one really paid attention to the MLS All-Star Weekend. I know that Thomas Mueller was doing some really cool challenges. He was pretty spot on. I know that there was a handful of other things as well, a couple other big soccer athletes, but that just was not the case. I know the game. I don't know who won the game. I don't know. I don't know if they could. Dave, could they at least get Animal to make an appearance? Where's Joel? Can we ask Joel if maybe we could get Animal to perform for halftime? I don't know if we can do that, but that would be totally badass.
I will work
Will, what do you think? We get Animal to perform?
I will work to acquire Animal, Ryan. I will work to get him. I'm gonna get him.
You'll get Animal to perform?
Yes, I'm gonna get him.
And he'll be going, oh, and then he's gonna say, sing. Will thinks that I should perform. I don't think I would want to perform at all. I would definitely not perform.
I can see you pulling off a little Bruno.
No, I would have to wear the 24 karat outfit. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you, I would not sing anything Queen. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't sing anything Queen. I'll tell you that.
You know what? Listen. Again, I hold the power. I will turn you off. I will turn you off, Ryan.
That is true. That is very much true. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. I don't know how many likes we're at, but make sure you guys smash that like button. It's been an absolute blast out here at Atwood Stadium. We'll have to see, what we do. Maybe any coverage with the Flint City Bucks. We'll just have to wait and see. But no, it has been an absolute blast here today as Vermont Green is wrapping up their training session, as they're just in a little bit of a cool down at the moment for their players. Again, it's going to be a phenomenal.
Ryan, we are at. It looks like 9 likes.
And we get one more to get us to 10. We just need one more like to get us to 10. That's all we need. And we just get one more. And then I'll be a happy camper for the day. But no, it has been an absolute blast out here today as the Vermont players are starting to head into the dressing room at the moment. Even Chris Taylor, the head coach, has got some game. Look at him. He's absolutely pinging it out there. He might still be able to play. He may have to get out there and still play. He might have to be, again, we are in Flint, so he could be Jackie Moon. Player and coach. Maybe if we get Paul Doro on here, we'll have to ask him, be like, can you still play out here? We are in Flint with Jackie Moon. There was a Jackie Moon sighting out here on Sunday last week in the Flint City game against Ventura County. So again, the Flint City or Jackie Moon is still in the air. We got Random Aussie in the chat. He says, "Yo, what is good? What is good, Random Aussie? How's it going?" We're just out here live at Atwood Stadium for the USL2 Championship, which will take place here tomorrow. It's match day -1. Dave, in the subject of on All-Star games, have you ever watched Soccer Aid, a mix of celebs and pros, England versus the rest of the world? It's been going on for 20 years. I've never heard of it. I have genuinely not heard of it at all. I have not. I have not heard of that at all. I know that there's like the soccer tournament, the TST. That I know there's a bunch of celebrities and former players in that, but that's as far as I know. I don't know much anything about celebrity soccer matches besides the Sidemen. The Sidemen got some charity matches. Hey Nathan, do you watch Sidemen celebrity soccer matches? Sometimes, he says. Sometimes. Why are you still wearing sunglasses? There's no sun out here. You don't know? There you go. There you go. I'll help you.
He wears his sunglasses at night.
Yeah, your dad is also wearing sunglasses too. I don't know why is he still wearing sunglasses.
Wait, hold on. Ryan, Random Aussie saying it's 24. It's about 24. Is that Fahrenheit? 24 degrees Fahrenheit? No.
I feel like that would have to be Celsius.
That's got to be Celsius, right? Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, 24 degrees Fahrenheit?
I know like in the desert it gets cold, but no way. There's no way.
Is it though? Like, because wouldn't it be like winter right now in Australia? Yeah. It would be winter?
Yeah. You're right.
It would be winter,
right.
So maybe it is 24 degrees Fahrenheit.
That. Oh my gosh. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is winter here. It is winter here. Okay.
Yeah.
We did get that right.
I love how you keep looking up at me as if you could see me.
Yeah, no, I can't see a damn thing. All I see is like the ceiling.
You can see me if you look on the screen, Ryan. Slight delay, but I
don't know. Are we done? All right, John is. He lives near. Random Aussie lives near snowfields.
Okay.
John, is there anything you'd like to add before you? Yeah, we're still live. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still going.
No, you don't want to say anything? Can I ask a question though? Why are you wearing sunglasses right now? It's not sunny out at all. Genuinely, why are you wearing sunglasses?
Oh, this is a great one. We're loving that.
Why? He's not answering. I don't know why. Again, I don't know. But anyway, this is going to wrap up Inside the Game on the Road edition as we were live here at Atwood Stadium for match day -1 between Vermont Green and the Flint City Bucks. Again, if you want a chance to watch this game, head over to Sports Engine Play tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Ryan Glinsky. James Schofield, our producer here. Thank you to Adam Pfeiffer and Joel Nash for joining us here on the perch here at Atwood Stadium. Hey, Random Aussie's asking why you're wearing sunglasses.
Inquiring minds want to know.
He said that was random. What did you say?
I was saying inquiring minds want to know.
yeah, I'm curious. But anyway, that's going to wrap it us up here and Inside the Game. Vermont Green, Flint City, they take place. Sports Edge play tomorrow at 7:30. You can hear myself and John Turner on the commentary in the press box here tomorrow. But until next time, so long. All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
You are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you and you guys know what you're doing, and